Vast me hearties, and welcome once again to Full Stream Ahead. I be your host, Mozz Manzor, and with me, as always, is the lovely and talented first mate, Lilith Hellfire, the internet granny herself. Woo!
Yay! Welcome back, kids. To Full Stream Ahead. We're still discussing Loki. We're on season 2, episode 2, Breaking Bread. I was confused because I'm a little dyslexic sometimes. I read that a little too fast. I was like, Bryan Cranston? No.
Oh, is it really Breaking Bread? Oh, it is
Bread,
Breaking
yeah.
Bread. This whole time, until just now, I thought the same thing. I was like, episode 2, Breaking Bad. I was like, pretty on the nose, but I was like, I wonder which one is. All right, fair enough. I really like this episode because I think the first time in the entire series, Loki starts acting like Loki.
Loki, finally, yes!
He's
They let him
playing-
use his magic. He's getting menacing. I'm like, yes, thank you, finally. He's a trickster. Let him be a trickster.
Where has this been? They spent an entire season. He didn't play one trick on anybody.
Oh,
All
he was
did-
lost. It was like the theme of being lost and not sure of his place in the world, but like Daddy's
Yeah.
got his mojo back. I think that was what this was about.
Fair enough. It was really.
They
awesome.
gave him the Ken treatment. He's broken. He had to go on that journey to find out that he was Knuff. As in Ken enough. If you haven't seen the Barbie movie,
I
you
have
should
not.
watch it.
I'm sure I'll get to it at some point. There's a ton of things. I've watched like 20 minutes of this one movie the other day. It seemed really cool, but I still have to finish that. But it's an alien abduction movie where there's no dialogue.
Oh, I know the one you're talking about with the girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god! I watched the first 20 minutes of it, and it's so good. And what an interesting concept. But man, they're executing it really well so far. I can't wait to finish it. But there's a ton of things, even that I really like. I gotta get to finish. So I'm sure I'll get to Barbie at some point. Hopefully they still have regular TVs by the time I get around to it.
Good luck.
Yeah, it's like I'm gonna be. It's gonna be. You have a VCR. That's what it's gonna be like by the time I get to watching Barbie. But in any case, yeah.
I was confused. I'm like, okay, like it was just like so fast paced. We show up and it's it's Mobius and it's Loki and they're after XO5. He's like trying to find his place in the sacred timeline, and I'm just like, wait, what happened? Did we miss something? Did I miss? I had to like make sure it was like episode 2 because it like literally in Mesray, right, just in the thick of it, and I'm just like, okay.
Yeah, the only indication they ever gave us that Brad, because like Brad was painted as like a sentinel for the other side. There's no way he would turn that hard and make like a face turn or something, right? But like he get there.
Docs must be. That's when you know Docs is up to something. If this bootlicker's like wanting to go AWOL, something's going on. Yeah.
But there was that one instance when they and I don't know if I caught it so much in the last episode, but when they did the recap, they showed that scene where it's like you had a life, and he's like, well, that changes everything, and she's like, that changes nothing, and I was like, okay, fair enough, and you saw him be like, all right, but I don't think you're thinking about this properly. So I think we got an inkling right away that once Brad found out, Brad was like, whoa, I'm Brad?
Wolf?
Yeah, like what in the hell am I doing here taking orders from like a goblin? I'm Brad Wolf. Man,
Sacred timeline. He's like, that was my spot in the sacred time. Oh, how dare you?
I am robbing an entire generation of the magic of the Zaniac movies.
Oh, which is a great Easter egg in and of itself, which we'll get to at the end. But like 1977's London, chef's kiss. Couldn't pick a better time, better place.
Yeah.
Especially for somebody defecting, because that's like kind of during the winter of discontent, if you know anything about like history, where it's like all this upheaval for British people, like the working British class trying to get mobility.
The only thing I know that line from is Richard III. It opens with, now is the winter of our discontent.
No, it's an actual thing from recent history. It was kind of along the lines of right along the rise of like the mafia taking hold in New York in the 70s. Like because there was a lot of like political unrest, lack of like social mobility and things like that. That's what caused a lot of it. And so I thought that was just kind of perfect that they would have like plus the movie Zaniac, and it's just like no, I like that. I don't know if I'm putting too much thought into it.
No.
Yeah.
I want to hear more. So what happened? Did people revolt? Did they riot? What happened?
Yeah. There's just like a lot going on. Like there's like a lot of political unrest. It was like think Margaret Thatcher. So like she's like shutting down the coal mines. Like they're like people are just doing these huge transitions from like manual labor to like trying to find something else to do for manufacture because she was shutting down all the manufacturing as well. That was getting shipped
Wow.
away.
And that was around the same time we visited,
Yeah.
or oh
Yeah,
wow,
that we're
that's
in London. So I'm just
cool.
like, and that's why it looks so like dirty and gritty. If you notice, like to me, that was
Ah,
my connection.
nice, nice. Yeah, again, the only place I know that line from is Shakespeare in Richard III. That's how he opens
Yes.
the show. Um, no, that's really cool. But like, so it's really cool. Like, he puts all these people around him as Brad is trying to escape. Um, I wish we saw more of that in the last few, but it was kind of cool to see it here. But eventually they do catch him and they bring him in, and I guess what is their point? You think of just getting him to admit? Oh no, they need to find Sylvie,
Yeah,
right?
they
That's the
need to
point.
find Sylvie, and
Right,
how
right,
he
right,
knows
right.
where she is kind of like a throwaway line in and of itself as well. But hey, a MacGuffin's got a MacGuffin, and we're just gonna keep it moving.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But yeah, I guess it's kind of nice to know that he did find a life, that he's protecting it. But they do find Sylvie, and this is the one part of the episode that was like a little weird to me. What the hell is Sylvie mad about? Why is she angry with Loki? I don't understand. Like, did you get an inkling that what was she mad about?
Not a clue. I think she just, I don't know. I don't think she's even mad at him. I think she's just mad about the circumstances.
I guess I was just like, he's all like
A lot
apologizing.
of people's motivations are unclear here. Like, 100B15, everybody's, motivations are a little murky. But like, I guess like once we figure out what the situation is and that, that Docs is deleting all the timelines, like it's just kind of a mess, and
Yeah, because
maybe they'll pick it up next episode. Maybe this wasn't really meant. Maybe this is just a setup. It's not meant for us to really fully get until the next episode.
I guess it just her anger seems so misplaced. I don't understand it.
Maybe
Like
she
she
needed a
got her way
Snickers, Mozz.
in
I
the
don't
last
know.
season. She wanted to kill the god, and he was like, "Hey, maybe it's not such a smart idea." She said, "Get the hell out of my way," and she stabbed the dude up, and she got what she wanted. And now he shows back up and says, "Hey, we might have a problem."
Maybe it's
What?
like the Joker. You never know if you like or a dog chasing a car. You don't know what you're gonna do when you get it, and when you get it, like, damn it, this is not a great idea.
Yeah, and
It
like
turns out it probably isn't the best idea.
yeah, I mean, like maybe, and even her plan never actually comes to fruition, right?
Yeah.
The timelines existed for a moment, but then they were all pruned again. Um,
Allegedly. I don't know if that could really actually be true. I think the multiverse is just naturally occurring and you can't prune it. It's like whack-a-mole. You break one and another one's gonna come, and I think that that's the lesson that they have to learn. I think that's why everything's so cyclical within the TVA. Like when we were talking about the opening, it seems like they always have a catastrophe, right? Even though he went back in time, they were still having kind of a timeline catastrophe. It's just meant to happen, and I think that they're just stuck in that really weird, loop that they can't break yet. And I think it's up to Loki to break that loop. Like, hey, that is actually natural in how things are supposed to go. You can't control everything, but he who
right.
remains, he wants to pull in the reins, right? So like that's his thing. That's what he's got them thinking. Like it's not natural because that's more akin to what he needs it to be. You know what I mean? So I
Yeah.
think that that's going to be the whole point of season 2. If you know anything about the rut that Disney's in right now, I don't think there's going to be season 3. Sorry, kids. I don't think there's going to be too
Yeah.
much of Disney Plus around in like the next 5 years. I think we're going to be
I think that might be
tuning
okay.
down.
That might be
Yes.
okay.
I
You
think they're
know?
spread too thin, and they need to
Yeah.
refocus. But
Yeah.
like
And
like I said, I like stylistically, I like it. Story wise, I'm not so sure. Like, because like I said, I'm not really that invested. Like, I don't like Norse mythology. Definitely didn't like any of the Thor movies. I like
yeah.
Tom Hiddleston, and him and Owen Wilson have great, 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 great chemistry, but they are carrying the show on their back. Like my favorite scene is when they're in the automat, and I just love how like anachronistic and like throwback the TVA is, right? Because it was like totally IKEA vibes. Have you ever been in the food court of IKEA? I was just like,
Yeah.
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 Automats
Definitely.
used to be a thing before McDonald's. To get back kind of towards the ending, we got another McDonald's heavy product
Mm-hmm.
placement
Mm-hmm.
scene, and I was just like, oh, they brought it back. That's so cute.
No, back when McDonald's was actually pretty good. Either that or
Yeah.
I was just a kid. I don't know, but like I feel like
Well,
McDonald's is
no, the
actually
quality of everything was not to be those old people. Like it was
right.
better. Like before, like Monsanto's got a hold of everything, and all the cows
Yeah,
had hormones, and the constant putting cows in a constant state of like milking or whatever it is, that they
yeah,
do that makes the food just really taste like. If you are into like organic food, like some people don't believe you until they actually taste it. You can taste the difference without the hormones, and if it's grass fed, and if it's been out in the sky, and if it's happy, like it's a real thing.
yeah.
So, and that's back in the day when they did do all that, when it wasn't such,
The French fries were cooked in
corruption.
beef fat. The
Yeah,
chicken McNuggets didn't look like makeup sponges, you know.
real. It was meant for real chicken,
Yeah, the
not
word.
mixed in with soy. True story. Don't at me.
Yeah, yeah. No, but like the color palettes and everything are really interesting. You're right. Visually, it's a really well done show. It's well shot. The acting is good. The chemistry is good. But underneath that all, the storyline seems like a UPN show. Like it's real simple, straightforward.
Yeah, I've
And
been waiting for the other shoe to drop, and it just doesn't seem there's another shoe to drop right now.
right, right. We're in episode 2, and they get to that scene, and Sylvie touches Brad's chest and sees his memories, and like, oh, they're gonna blow up all the timelines. And they get to their little hideout, and they're like, wait a second, we're 20 minutes into the episode, and we're winning already. What's happening? Um,
Go
the,
go Power Ranger.
right, right. It really felt like a scene like they were beating up the Putty Patrol. Um, uh, Cartwheels, the whole nine. So. Um, But I felt like okay, they stopped the attack, but turned out they didn't stop anything because it was completely pointless. They got everything they wanted done. But I wonder if
Yeah.
you're right. That those branches are just going to start growing back.
Yeah, and they did. So my mystery for this season is Ravonna Renslayer. Like I want to know what her deal
Mm,
is. They
mm,
Casey got access to like that Tim pad from XO5,
yeah.
and they found out like she was getting help from Miss Minutes, and I was like, Miss Minutes is sentient? What is going on? I
Well,
I guess I had missed that. In that Miss
oh
Minutes is
yeah, and then the
sentient.
previous season, she was like an AI that Kang used as sort of
Yeah,
like
but
an
like
administrator.
sentient, like it's
Yeah.
giving Vision coming. Like, is she gonna be like Vision and get a body at this point,
I hope so. That'd be kind of cool because she'd be
and,
scary
and, and make
with
it
a
Tara
tangible
Strong because
body.
that's who voices her.
Who voices her?
Tara Strong, the voice actress of our generation.
Sorry.
Harley Quinn and
Ah,
Pinkie
oh,
Pie. Yeah, that Tara Strong.
okay, yeah, right on. But yeah, if they give her a body, the world is in trouble.
So
'Cause
much trouble.
she is evil, and she does not give one flying f at all.
I needed more Ouroboros, to be honest. Like, that poor guy, he's just slaving away. And I love the little hallway, right? The little timey-wimey winding hallway that they're using to get there with all the filing cabinets. And I'm like, it's like one
Hmm.
side of a Mobius strip, I think is like kind of the reference,
Oh,
maybe.
interesting.
Especially with the line is like, because it's about time travel and stuff too. So when Loki goes, hey, tells Mobius, I think you were in front of me. Like, because they're in this timey-wimey kind of situation. It's just, I
Wow,
thought it
yeah,
was kind of
I
cute.
didn't catch that little pun. That's interesting. Yeah, no, you're right. Like, who's looting who?
Exactly.
And
Well,
and to that
yeah,
point,
the blind
Loki
leading the blind right now,
for
personally.
real. And the only one who has eyes is doesn't want to fight.
Yep, that's how it goes, though. But
Man, get your act
that's gonna
together,
be this.
Sylvie.
That's what we're building up to.
Man. So I guess my favorite part, I think this is the first time we see Mobius sort of lose his cool. He's always been like this Phil Jackson Zen kind of, everything's all right. It's going to be fine, And now all of a sudden this guy gets under his skin. But what I
Yeah,
love is
real bad.
well, I mean, he slaps him. Yes, you could have taken a punch, but he slaps him like a
That's even
father would.
worse. Yeah, you
Yeah,
know what
yeah,
they say. It's like why Will Smith, like the open-handed slap to a man, is more
yeah.
disrespectful than punching him.
I felt like for him, coming from him, it was more like a fatherly thing, right? Because even when he's angry, I was like, "You're a silly man. You're a silly, silly man," right? Like that's the worst he can bring himself to. So even then, he has like that, like the good neighborhood cop sort of feel to him.
Yeah. Now, like, I'm desperately want to know what his where he was pulled from and what his life is like. I
And
promise you, it's probably his life was probably so good.
man, and when he makes that point, man, that's like you could see him on the edge of wanting to know what he is, but he's so scared to find out just in case it is good. And now more and more I think about it, I feel like that's him working at the McDonald's because it looks too much like a young him. It really does.
Yes, it does. It does.
After you said that, I was like, man, I can't stop seeing it. And then at the end, when he comes and walks over and talks to her, I was like, oh my god, no, that's definitely him. I hope that's him. It has to be him.
I need it to be like
Right,
that, like the perfect time and place. That's like the perfect time and place for him. Like,
it really needs to be him. But they have a nice little talk, and he's like, "Hey, look, man, everybody screws up." Everyone's like, "That was tactical. I can play the heavy hand if I need to." And then finally, he has some pie, and he's like, "Yeah, that wasn't tactical. I flew off the handle a little bit."
I'm confused though. So they made it a point that said that Sylvie was in the branch timeline because she does go back to that same branch timeline of Oklahoma. Yeah. But they said all the branch timelines got destroyed. This is what makes me think.
What the hell is going on? Right. Or are they trying to convince
They're not telling the truth.
Or are they trying to convince us that that's the one timeline that they did end up saving? Like, that's what I'm talking about. It's like an 18 plot, you know?
Yeah.
Everything is so super convenient. And then even then, like, you get this little, like, it almost seemed like a waste of time. This interrogation scene. And for those of you who can't see it, I'm doing air quotes.
But the gizmo, I was like, yes.
I know, but it was
I wanted him to be smushed into oblivion personally, but
no, I know, but like,
I was like, we're so close to doing something cool.
You can't take it seriously. It's just like you could see that it was a pantomime. Both of them were so aware that this is like this overly treaded, thing that we're doing. How could you? Anyways, I don't know. It bothered me by how rote it was.
I was like, if they would have actually like gone the full Monty, I thought it would have been a little bit cooler of a scene.
Yeah. Like, at least have it hurt a little bit. But like, and the worst part is the guy playing Brad is such a good actor.
So good.
And that's like, it's like the veneer of really good qualities trying to, put a dye job over a bunch of, tired gray hair,
Yeah. Oh yeah, Rafael Casal. Oh my gosh, he's so good. Like, people were like kind of wondering, like, is there gonna be more to him? Like, I remember everybody kind of like buzzing about it when this series premiere happened. Like, they're like, I hope there's more, and there was, but I don't think there's any more for him to do. But there was something for him to do.
Yeah, he's got that charm to be like a regular, reoccurring character.
But we only got 6 episodes, and
yeah. Well, I mean,
that is the blessing and the curse of, quote unquote prestige limited series shows and things like that.
No, but I think this performance will be very good for him. Like, this was not very much to sink your teeth into, and he made it a really, really interesting character. So I hope to see him in more things going forward. But yeah, I mean, like, he does the interrogation works, and they're able to take him.
Or does it? Like, is it all just a joke? Is this all just set up?
Like, by who?
Maybe he's in on it with Sylvie. I don't know.
Then I don't know. He just seems so genuinely scared. Like,
it's just so suspicious that she goes back to that timeline. It's suspicious.
Yeah. Like, how was it not destroyed? And because even when she leaves, she goes, "If it's still there," or something like that. And lo and behold, it is. But all the other ones have been pruned. It'd been nice if they showed that a few others were also left unpruned. That would have been cool.
I think that's what, we're going to get to. Like I said, I think that you can't actually prune it. Because, like, time is time. It's actual natural thing. It was here before us humans to observe it in some way, shape, or form, right? So who are we to control it? Like, even he who remains is,
right.
He's not a god, no matter what he thinks he in his head. He's technically not.
Right.
So I don't know. Like they, like
What
I
if
said,
she,
like in the first episode, like how they kind of got technical about like black holes and the theories of. So like for me, I'm thinking like maybe there was a point to putting an emphasis on that they can't control it, and everybody has to come to grips with that.
yeah, maybe that's why she went back. Like maybe she's able to go in time, so she went back like a day or two before, and she's just laying on that car at the end, just saying goodbye to the world. And when he
Great
comes,
song, Janis Joplin. Great, just great
uh,
visual imagery for an
yeah,
end credit scene.
yeah.
That was good. It was really good. I'm like, I need more Sylvie though. I'm sorry.
Yeah, yeah. All of a sudden, that show, like, what was that show, on the Peacock channel that we were covering? God, what was it called?
Oh, Poker Face.
Poker Face. It gave me super Poker Face vibes when she was sitting on that car and the young kid comes up. She's, "Hey, is your mom gonna come pick you up?" I almost heard like her voice saying
Natasha,
that.
like, we're just fiending for Poker Face at this point.
I know. God, can they get this strike over with or whatever the hell so we can get more of
Half of
those?
it's done. They just gotta meet the other half of requirements. So
So what's the half that's done so far? What have they accomplished?
the actors are still on strike, but the writers are able to have gone back. Most of them that can go back have gone back.
So then, didn't the actors only do it in support of the writers? What are they still arguing about?
They're still arguing about the use of AI. Like, if you get scanned
Oh,
once,
geez,
are
right,
you
right.
going to
That's
get
a
paid
big
as
one.
residuals and all that
Good
stuff?
Lord, yeah. Oh my God.
It's a big sticking point right now. Yeah.
Yeah, that seems like I don't see a way for them to win that one. It's so easy to change, like, just a little bit of subtle thing. And if they make a benchmark, right? Like this is the relationship matrix or ratio that defines a face. And if we tweak it just a little bit, just like people do with drugs, right? They come out with one chemical that's one molecule different, and all of a sudden still gets you high, but it's perfectly legal.
Yeah.
So with that, if they can change just enough, it's a hard battle to try to find a legal framework allowing you to fall on the
Because
actor
technology is
side.
always going to move faster than
Yeah.
the law.
Yeah.
That's just what it is.
Yeah.
Because there's always some. And I'm not even gonna say a scumbag. There's always just some person with the full of ingenuity that is trying to find the loopholes, as you should.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Maybe like what's the end game here, right? If AI wins everything, like maybe we find out that we weren't meant to be working, right? That all these things are
oh,
meant
the elites will not go for that.
well,
If you're not lining their pockets, you're useless, and then that's
yeah,
gonna
dag
turn into
nabbit.
Soylent Green. So it's like
Mm,
either we eat the rich and cut the internet, or we're just gonna have to believe in universal basic income. Up to you. It's your move, guys. I don't care
yeah.
either way.
Yeah, they really should be compensating us for our data. That's the path
Oh, and
to
okay.
universal
So
income.
side note, right? So now
Yeah,
all of a sudden, social media platforms want us to pay them,
yeah,
a
yeah,
la Twitter.
yeah,
Because
yeah.
Twitter. I'm not gonna ever call it that other thing. And you want to still scrape my data? Are you out of here? Look, listen, I was okay with being the product. I'll be damned if I pay a social media app to use it.
Yeah. It's like
Babes,
I'm
I
gonna
don't
pay
even
you to
pay
advertise
Photoshop to
on
use
my
them,
face.
okay?
Yeah,
So, like.
that's outrageous, right? It should work in the other direction. It's funny the way you said that about Twitter, though. I'm never gonna call it X. I'm gonna go call it Twitter. Maybe like calling it Twitter officially gets him out of some legal trouble, but he wanted to give it such a bad name that people wouldn't adopt it and they would still continue to call it Twitter. So he could have his cake and eat it too. Get out of whatever legal jam he has for calling it Twitter, calls it something else. It's a new entity, but people will still call it Twitter because it's such a bad name.
Well, he still has formerly known as Twitter in the thing, so like it's still
Yeah, yeah,
technically there. So nah, he's just dumb. It's buyer's remorse. It's
yeah.
buyer's remorse. He thought he could fix it. I was like, babes, we don't need WeChat. Like we don't
No,
need
no,
it.
no, no. I don't. I mean, like maybe his motivations perhaps are debatable, but I think the good that came out of it was that it wasn't any longer a curated view of what they want you to think the world is thinking. So like the
Oh
variability
no,
of
it very much is still a cesspool. It's
yeah,
very
no,
much
but
curated
that's for
exactly what
everybody. It
it's
wasn't
it's
like
an
one
echo chamber over
cesspool.
there of the worst kind.
Yeah, it was, but it wasn't sort of like one side cesspool and then saying to the whole world that this is the only cesspool that exists, right?
No, Reddit still exists.
Right. So it's like there's cesspools everywhere, and we should be seeing all the cesspools. And I think that was a good thing. And
It's
even if
just cultural vandalism as far as I'm concerned. That is what Elon Musk's legacy is. Like if you ever look through his court documents, it's 420s, it's 60. He's just
yeah.
juvenile. Like it's just a thing. Like I said, I was an early adopter. Like, cause I used to like to be on the bleeding edge. Now I know better. Now I know better. You always want to wait for the second shipment. That is my thing now.
Like,
shout out to MetaQuest 3 in January.
I was just gonna say, like the Quest Pro came out, people paid $1,000 for it, and the Quest.
And then it went on sale, and you could get it for like
not
400.
The Quest 3 has better panels, better pass through, and in all the ways that counts, it's a better product, and it's like half the price.
Exactly.
And it's awesome.
Yeah, I can't wait for mine in January.
Oh, it's so good. It's so much better than the 2. Just getting rid of those stupid rings etched into the glass that just often every time you look up or down, there's these rays of distraction that are gone now. It's just a flat pancake lens. It's beautiful.
I'm just really excited about the increased zone. Move around more freely.
Yeah, it's not just clear here and blurry out here. Everything's super sharp. So good.
Speaking of which, like I don't know what they're gonna do with like this, because they have to like they use Marvel uses a lot of what's that game company that everybody uses their engine? No, that we were just
Unreal?
talking about. Yeah, so they want to start charging people who aren't using it for video game purposes, right? Because Marvel uses it for their green screen environments. I know a lot of VTubers use that for their green screen environments and stuff like that.
Yeah, so, but at least even with the games, they have it as long as you have under 1 million downloads of your product, they don't charge.
Right, but they just like, I mean, if you're not using it for video game purposes, all they want to charge you a really astronomical amount, which I agree with. But
yeah,
Disney's on a budget, babes. The as a stockholder, we are gonna need some. We're kind of letting them know, like, hey man, you're gonna have to cut some corners here. You're gonna have to go back to practical stuff. Something.
I'm not mad at that. Or have less projects out there.
Well, that's the dream, babes. That's the dream.
Like have less projects, make us care. I mean, this would be a great product if the market wasn't flooded with other product that was so similar.
Yeah, shout out to South Park with their take on multiverse. Like, yeah, the people on the multiverse burn out for sure.
Yeah. I want to care about one simple thing and develop a relationship with that story. It's just too much to care about. It's just like, okay, no story really matters if there's that many.
Yeah, and I think that's really just been the struggle with Disney Plus shows specifically, especially for Loki. Like it spins out of Thor, which is kind of like the redheaded stepchild of like all the Marvel movies, the franchises that broke out of that, right?
Yeah. So it's like there's too many universes that don't seem connected. Other than by trivial relationships based on characters that appeared here and there. But the central narrative seems at odds at times with each other. There's the celestial thing, there's the magic thing, and then there's, the more earthly, there's the cosmic things, and none of them seem to be relying on anything that has anything to do with each other. They don't seem like, it doesn't even seem like there's a hope that they will, coincide at some point. It just seems
that's why I'm so skeptical about the TVA and when they said that that's what Loki was gonna be about, and I'm just like, huh.
Oh no.
But then, like, it works out because it's like actually a smaller. Ironically, it feels like a smaller story than everything else. Like I mean that in the best way. Like it's more focused, it's more streamlined. But like right now, I'm still confused. Like, okay, are we supposed to be confused or not? I'm still not sure if I'm supposed to be confused and everything's gonna just come together later.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I hope so. What is that thing that you think she was looking at when she was on the car at the very end of the episode? She had like some glowing thing in her hand. Did they tell us what that was?
I don't think they did. I think that's the new MacGuffin, maybe. Sylvie definitely knows something that we don't. I think it's a specific reason she's in that branch timeline.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is. Maybe she's not mad. Maybe she's trying not to reveal
deflecting,
something. That makes more sense. Because, like, why would you be mad at him? Like, He tried to stop you, but you beat him and you got your way, and it didn't work out. It was probably the wrong decision. Why are you mad at him? But she's probably not mad. She
But
probably
again,
knows
there,
something.
everybody has to play the fool sometime, and every fool has a part to play, kind of thing. So,
Yeah, yeah,
like
yeah.
I said, like it's a reason. I feel like it's a reason why Loki has to be at the TVA at this particular time. He's the only one that can like snap them out of it.
He's
He
got to
has to
snap
realize his
himself
full
out of
power
it.
being a trickster guy. He has to get back in his mojo for sure for this to work.
Yeah, yeah. It's almost like he's the only one that can bring balance to the force, and the only way he can do that is by being
Unleashing the beast.
right, right, right. Oh, so like hopefully this series ends up being a celebration of those exact powers.
I think
That
so. I
could be
think
fun
that's
to
this
watch.
was a taste, and
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
thinking that's
Okay.
what that's the first breadcrumb. I think.
All right, all right. I'm with that. I'm with that.
Well, the
So
second breadcrumb. The first breadcrumb is what he went through with his temporal displacement. Like they'd never seen it before. He was able to survive it. That's the first breadcrumb. Him getting back into his groove of using his powers. That's the second breadcrumb. Now, what's the rest of them? And what dark forest are they leading us into? Hopefully, it's not an oven.
right, I think it's gonna end up being like that line from Seinfeld. A Costanza divided cannot stand. Right?
Exactly.
The two parts of Loki need to come together and reconcile.
Yeah, I think that is what it has to be at the end of the day. So
And it's
I
gonna be
did find some
some
Easter eggs though, if you care.
ooh. Like what?
Okay, the Zaniac movie. So I thought that this was really cute how they weaved it in. So
Mhm.
there's an obscure Marvel villain who, of course, is tangentially related to Thor because that's what they do. Also from the 1980s, which is where Broxton, Oklahoma comes from as well. In that storyline, Zaniac's actually like a swarm of demonic parasites from the dark dimension. And actually, if you saw the
Ooh.
first Doctor Strange movie,
Uh-huh.
yeah, that's where that big bad is from. It's tangentially related. So he actually did possess the movie star Brad Wolf. But then Brad Wolf in the comics was playing a slasher villain named Zaniac when it happened, and that's how the parasite swarm got its nickname, Zaniac. So it's like super super meta, and I really like appreciated it.
Wow. Yeah, I just looked
It's
up
like three
Zaniac.
layers of meta, like.
Oh, wow. That's intense. What else did you find?
What else was there? I think
'Cause
that one was my favorite, and then
I'm looking at pictures of
joke
Zaniac.
Loki mentions the Battle of New York from the first Avengers movie.
Mm. Yeah, I was so mad at my father, my brother. I held a whole city hostage. Like, all right, yeah.
We've all been there.
Yeah, but what a way to trivialize the best thing your franchise has ever done.
Exactly.
You know, I was like, all right, come on, don't make it sound like that. The whole world was on the line, and it's just because you were having a tantrum. Annoyed me a little bit, a little bit.
Oh,
Um,
also, the device looked like it was giving me lawnmower slash Edward Scissorhand vibes that they were using to torture him.
oh. It looked so old school. It looked like to me like danger number 5, danger. That's what it looked like to me.
Yeah, those were the two main like comic book things that or movie related MCU related things that I saw. Like I said, I mentioned the automat. Like that was just so cute. I really love the set design.
Yeah, I mean, like that's really the ambiance that it builds is really what's selling this show. But underneath it all, it's a pretty mediocre story that I think we're just watching. Just because I have to watch it's like staying after the movie to see the after credits. You don't really like you're annoyed
You
with
can see
yourself
it
the
on
whole time.
YouTube, but you're there. You might as well
Yeah,
sit down and just wait.
and then you hate yourself more and more every extra 10 seconds. You're like, man, this is not good. And then it's so disappointing. That's what I feel like the ride we're on right now.
But the crazy thing is, I've liked the end credit scenes the most every single time.
Yeah.
For the whole episode, for both episodes, the end credit scene made it worth it for me.
Wait, there was an end credit scene on this one?
Well, not an end credit scene, but the Sylvie thing.
Oh, where she's talking to
Yeah.
Jack.
Yeah.
But we really know that's Mobius.
It's so funny though, because the actor that plays him name is Jack Nuttall, and they just gave him the name Jack. It reminds me of the American Dad, Haley's husband Jeff. His real name is Jeff, and they just let him be Jeff. Like he's not even acting. It's just him. Like he's a big stoner and stuff. So that's just the
funny.
vibes. Every time there's an actor that gets to have his character name, I'm like, oh, they like you. It's a little inside joke.
Nice. I hope we do get more Brad because Brad is fun to watch.
He's
And
such
I'm
a
glad to
waste of a
see.
great actor, honestly.
Yeah, and I'm glad to see that like, he's a normal person, right? When given that opportunity, he's like, yeah, screw this. I should be having fun, right? He's just like one of us.
Exactly.
So like, I'm
Yeah,
glad
he
he's one of the good
realized
ones.
he's having an existential crisis. And for
Yeah.
me, when I have an existential crisis, I'm going to party.
Yeah, 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 exactly. Like I saw so much of like my own party days in him. Like when he's coming up and talking to people, he's like, I don't know, he made some drug reference or something. I don't know. But man, he was having a ball. Leave that man alone.
Let him be. But
Yeah.
I'm excited for next week's episode. It looks like we're going back even further in time to like the late 1800s, and we're gonna probably be focusing on Miss Minutes and Renslayer. So like,
And
I want to know what's up with Renslayer. Like I said, that's my mystery for the season. I want to know what's going on. They said she was a close partner. I'm like, no, that's his mom or that's his wife. One of the two.
I got the sense that they were an item.
Or maybe he's just like Loki. Like I said, that's just one of his female variants. And
Oh no! Imagine if she's another Kang variant.
yeah,
Oh,
the
that
most
would be
important
cool.
Kang variant. Like maybe
That
she's the
would.
first Kang variant.
Wow.
I don't know. Like they're making so much emphasis on it. Like she can't just be like a lover. You know, it has to be something
Yeah.
more than that for me.
Oh, but I hope they're smart enough to do that.
Yes, that is my hope.
Yeah, I hope they're smart
It's why I
because
don't
that.
theory craft anymore. Like it's like when you're listening to Super Connectivity and like Charlie had like a really great idea, but it's like they don't have the love and care like you do, bud. Like they'll never
Right.
do it. Even though it's a super great idea and I wish that I want to manifest it, I know that the executives are like no.
Now I'll be pleasantly surprised if that's the road they walk down. But man, that would be a good one.
Yeah.
That would be a good one. But
We'll
all right,
find out next week.
yeah, tune in next week. And come sail once again with us on these dirty, filthy, swampy seas. I'm screaming
Hopefully
content.
we'll find some clear blue ocean soon here.
Yeah. There should be like The Boys is coming back. I wouldn't mind doing that.
Oh, definitely you have to watch Generation V first before The Boys come back. You
You know
have
what?
to watch. It's so good. It's so
Is
good.
it really? I started watching like the first 20 minutes and nothing really caught me, and I haven't been back to it yet.
It's a bit of a slow burner. Probably I'll say halfway through the second episode is when it really for me like turned into like worth it. Not just like a crappy spinoff. Like I was like, oh, they're just doing a teen spinoff. You know, like how Doctor Who has like the class. That's the vibes it was given. But then it got like a little bit more serious, and I think that the plot is actually going to come into this season of The Boys because you know Homelander is a Bane.
Yeah.
we gotta find something for Homelander, and I think that is going to definitely tie it. I haven't finished yet. I'm like on episode 4, I think. So
Yeah, but it's also like the old man in me was like, it's gonna be filled with nothing but like millennial slang and a bunch of she or whatever.
that's
It's just
Gen
annoy
Z.
me.
She's not us. Don't get no. It's not
Right. I don't know. Like millennials is just like that catch-all derogatory term for young people. It's just become
I'm
that
almost
way.
40. I'm not young.
Well, yeah, I don't see you as a millennial. Like millennials are the kids that are in college these days. Millennials are like 25, around like give or take 2 or 3 years, around 25. That's a millennial.
Perma millennial. I love it. Well, where can they find you if they have some questions or thoughts for you, Mozz?
Well, make sure you're over 30 before you email me. But if you would like to have a decent human conversation, you can email me at mozzmanzor@gmail.com or find me on Facebook under Mozz Manzor.
Okay, if you want to find us, the podcast on social media, you can find us on Twitter at FSA Podcast. You can give us the email at CapesandLunatics@gmail.com. You can call the voicemail 614-382-2727. That's 614-382-CAPES. And then you can also,
38
Capes. You can also find us on twospace.io at Capes and Lunatics Podcast Network. And as for me, if you want to hang out with the internet's favorite granny, you can find me on Facebook, friend me, Lilith Hellfire, or you can find me on Threads or Instagram at your favorite internet granny, GRANNIE. All in the show notes.
All right, you filthy land lovers. Join us again next time as we sail once again full stream ahead. Yarg.
Yarg.